So I've had that first surgery. And I was so scared. I was waiting for phone calls and I was answering questions. And every time someone asks me the same question again, I start wondering, like, if I answered it wrong. That's just what's wrong with my brain. But they have to ask. They have to make sure, what is your name? What is your date of birth? They have to make sure you're you so they're not, doing the wrong surgery. But it screwed with me a lot. And, they make you pee in a cup to make sure you're not pregnant. And
what a miracle that would be.
Right? So when I went to do that, the person who had led me to the bathroom had disappeared. So when I came back out, as soon as I found where my little cot was, I was like, oh, of course. But before that, I was totally lost because I was so stressed out. Getting from the bathroom, the toilet, directly across to where I came from, my brain completely shut off. I did not know how to get back. I'm like locking eyes with other patients, like trying to figure. It was terrible. But I made it, figured it out, and they gave me the stuff to relax me right in the IV, and the guy, the anesthesiologist, part one, because there was two of them that worked together, said, some people say that this makes them fall asleep, but like it's not really meant for that. It's, so he starts rolling the gurney out into the hallway, and he puts the oxygen mask on. He says, this is just oxygen. It's not going to... Before he finishes the sentence, I am unconscious. So I think that the relaxing stuff does actually knock you out, maybe.
Yep.
I think maybe no one's lying about that, actually.
I don't think it's the stuff that, like, paralyzes your body. I think maybe,
no.
Like, this is one of the constant things we've had on here is that there's a lot of medical professionals that'll tell you how something feels who have never had it done.
No.
Which in certain cases it's physically impossible for them to have it done.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, if they say just a pinch and everyone else describes it as the worst fucking pain, and they continue saying just a pinch, like, that is a tactical lie or a malicious one.
Yeah, well, like getting the IUD was horrendous.
Yeah.
But this was fine. And I woke up, and the first thing I said, I didn't even have, like, the loopy coming out. I didn't have any of that. There were times where I didn't remember what was happening, and Rob had to fill me in. You had to fill me in.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first thing, really, when I was fully conscious again, I looked at the nurse and said, "You're very nice, but where is my husband? I want to go home." I was, like, weirdly stern.
Yeah.
And she looked surprised by that.
Like, after you had been gone for about an hour, the surgeon came out and gave me the rundown of everything and said they should call you back in about an hour. About an hour and a half later, they did. And you weren't really loopy. You were just, like, you were done.
Yeah. I just wanted to go home.
Yeah, the same mood as, like, if we go to a game night and it's suddenly 2 a.m. and you're just like, no, I'm done with this bullshit. We're going home.
I also want to point out, I was physically uncomfortable mostly because of the gown. The gown they gave me was an XXL, and the socks they gave me were XXL. I am under 5 feet tall. This was ridiculous. I didn't even know how to tie it onto myself. The nurse had to do it for me because I was just wrapping it around my body because it was so big. But I did say that I wanted to keep the socks. And not only was that fine, but then they brought over 2 other pairs in different colors. All of them are huge.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are huge. And then I asked if I could have stickers because, you know what? I'm 37 years old. I have a master's degree. I don't care. I got poked and prodded, and I want stickers. And so they rolled out this cart, and Rob picked out 2. You asked if I wanted the Superman. I said yes.
I said, well, you get 2. They just gave me the bin of stickers, so I'm just like, you get 2 stickers.
Yeah, so I got 2 stickers. I was very pleased with that. Yeah. They also gave me, like, so many of that ice pack nonsense.
Yep.
They're refillable. So it's not like they go bad.
It's just a tube you put ice in. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy about it. It's
no, but, like, you can seal it and you can tie it on, which is, I think, brilliant. Like, the design of it is brilliant.
It's a good design.
But I don't
need... It's not a complex machine.
I don't need 12 of them.
No.
Because they're refillable.
Yeah. And you don't freeze it either. You just you just dump the water out, put the ice in, and you're done.
Yeah. But yeah, the incision wasn't that big. I was picturing, like, a piece of tape, bandage tape.
Are we not mentioning that on the way home, I swung through Burger King?
Oh, yeah!
So on the way
Oh
home,
no, never again.
yeah, on the way home, I hadn't eaten since because this is
It took hours.
Surgery took an hour.
You
But we
had
were
to
at the
call your dad to take care of the dogs.
Yeah, because we didn't get home until again we were there for a thing like at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And then we left just before 4.
Yeah.
So
Because they didn't even take me in until just way after 10.
yeah, which is just the pace of things in hospitals. So
Yeah.
it wasn't surprising. My dad took care of the dogs, made sure they took
Yeah.
a walk in the meantime. And but on the way home, I swung through a Burger King because I hadn't eaten.
And we say swung, you swang. It was like, whoosh.
Well, you have to fully turn into that. So so the unfortunate thing is you were still nauseous from the drugs they gave you. So I order, and we pull up to the window, and as I'm paying, you just pick up a bag and puke into it.
I didn't think I was nauseous. I really didn't. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I need to throw
You
up
just all of a sudden
now.
was like, I'm going to puke, and there was a bag there.
Just like at my
It was
feet.
just like a paper bag from some other fast food. I think it was a Dunkin' Donuts.
And the only thing in my stomach was water, but
Yeah.
a lot of water. Because they had handed me the, like a to-go cup of water.
Yeah.
And I was so thirsty.
Yeah. Because you hadn't been able to drink since midnight.
Well, I hadn't been able to eat since midnight. I could drink since
You
an
could drink
hour
since
before.
yeah.
But I was so dry. And the breathing
This was
tube...
8 hours later.
I need you to know, the breathing tube was the worst part. The incision was fine. The breathing tube beat the crap out of me. It was terrible. My throat hurt so much on the inside, which is not where your thyroid is.
Yeah.
And it gave me fat lip.
Fat lip. They fat lipped you.
Yeah. It was numb for days and days. It was terrible. It was all puffy.
Yeah.
So I threw up into the bag. And since it was just water, it went through the bag and it was just in my lap. It was over everything. And it was right in front of the guy at the window. And then you paid. And then you went to the other window.
And then you threw up in front of that window.
And I threw up again.
And these Burger King employees, I don't know what they thought of us because you're just puking into a bag. And I'm just like, thank you for the Whopper.
And there wasn't even a herc. It was just dumping water out of my face.
Turning on a faucet. Just
Yeah. I was so embarrassed.
You were embarrassed later. At the time, you did not give.
No, I didn't care about anything. I just want to go home. But yeah, so that sucked. But yeah, I was expecting there to be tape over the wound, and instead, there was much less on my neck. Instead, he used it was different craft supplies. It was just this glue that was purple, and it made my neck look like it had a Muppet mouth. And multiple friends said that I should put some kind of googly eyes in, on top of them, make a face, but I didn't do that.
Mm.
But, it reminded me of, you remember the really chunky glue stick you might have in an art class?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be purple. It would go on clear.
Yeah.
But that's what it looked like was used on my neck.
Yeah, it's the old glue stick.
Yeah, just chunky.
Yeah.
So, part 1 was fine. You may have noticed, okay, so part 1. Part 1 makes it sound like there's part 2. That's because there is part 2.
Unfortunately.
So he had biopsied a couple. I don't know what words he used. I thought he was biopsying literally 2 of my lymph nodes while he was in there. He took 7, which isn't unreasonable. That's apparently normal. We apparently have 800 lymph nodes. Out of the 7, 5 had microscopic carcinoma. That's not great. I have a little speckling of cancer.
Peppered with microscopic papillary carcinoma.
Yeah. So I've just got,
Which
just a
unfortunately
sprinkling.
means it's probably not just on the half, so the other half has to come out now.
The other half that has the other nodule anyway. So I knew one day we'd probably need the other half out anyway.
Yeah, we're just going to keep an eye on it because it was a non-zero chance that would have been a thing.
And so many people were like, I would have just gotten both halves out anyway. It's still going to be an outpatient. The only time we needed to be in hospital overnight would be if it was all out all at once, because then you can get all kinds of complications. So it is literally the same surgery again, and then there's more. So this gets to be continued in a minute. We're recording this at one point.
We're going to do it in retrospect and not going forward, because there's a second surgery scheduled.
Right.
And we know that there's going to be some treatments that are necessary beyond that, but we, it's all the future.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm going to make it one video.
Or make it one video and then release it in 3 parts.
Then there's 3 videos.
Right. Well, part 1. You're doing part 1, 2, 3, so just do part 1 through 3. Why one video?
Alright,
Why are
so...
you making yourself more work? Why are you doing one 40-minute video when you can do 15-minute videos?
It's the same amount of work. Okay, so fine.
It's
This
the same
is
amount of
part
work, but
1.
Yeah.
And assuming that I survive, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. This is... Oh, that too. Throughout this, everyone, including other, like, endocrinologists and people that I know, have referred to this as the ice cream of cancers. It is supposedly the easiest to deal with cancer, the most survivable, and every single step of the way has been, what do you mean it's cancer? Huh, that's weird. Better get rid of it then. It's not a scary cancer. It's still scary to me, because I'm the one going through it. I don't want to have surgery over and over. But hey, I can't have my thyroid removed a 3rd time.
Nope, this is the last time.
So, yep. Rock on.
Rock on.